you know, God is not dealing with folk who are fearful in any area. Okay, you got to get rid of that spirit of fear and trust God so that you can go forward in all the areas that He has called you to. All right? And just know this also, and we shared this some time ago in Exodus 11 and 2, and you should have it already, but if you don't, you can write it down again. Exodus 11 and 2, when he was, in fact, it was this time of year, it was getting ready for Passover. It was actually around about this time, and the Lord told Moses to tell the children of Israel to go to the Egyptians and borrow, okay, and I struggled with that scripture for so long. I'm like, Lord, why the word borrow? I mean, this is a generation where we're having a hard enough time with debts and loans, and here it is, the Holy Scriptures, and you're talking about go and borrow from the Egyptians, and that was a big question mark to me for the longest time. And so I began to study it and went through the history of it, and I saw first of all how Egypt began to get their wealth. How did Egypt get their wealth? Well, you remember the story of Joseph. He became the prince of Egypt. The dreams and the visions that he interpreted, okay, and translated for the Pharaoh, put him in a very high position. Egypt became the wealthiest, country in the world at that time. Everybody was traveling to Egypt during this horrible famine, and Egypt had way more than enough. You all read the story. Well, that was because of God's man Joseph. The scripture says, and God, raised up Joseph, and even Joseph in his own conversation with his brothers, that God literally has used me to preserve you. Isn't that something? He used Joseph to preserve even his own family. And sometimes our family are the worst ones against us. But he used Joseph. So Egypt had this wealth, okay? It wasn't theirs. God used Joseph so they could have. So no wonder during the Passover, when he was going to bring them